Today we are going to go over my Zon Heidi Klum. I'd just like to point out special thanks to Dix, aka Cox, aka Mr. Biggie. This guy, ladder season 1 and 2, made a total of like 6 Zons and got them all to level 99. I'm not sure why he makes multiple level 99 Zons in the same ladder on the same account, but he just loves playing Zon. This guy knows what it's truly about. I got most of my advice from him. We're gonna go ahead and just go through this as quickly as possible though. I call her Heidi Klum because just like I call the assassin Christopher Walken, I think, you know, it looks kind of like Heidi Klum. The Amazon is clearly a matured lady, but not past the point of incredible good looks and physique. I came in 3rd last ladder on the Amazon ladder leaderboard. I was right behind Tokyo, who apparently was botting, but Blizzard doesn't give a f about botters, and they never removed him from the leaderboard even after his character got deleted. So great, good system. Why do you want to play in a Javazon? A, she's sexy. She's also got Lightning Fury, which in my opinion is definitely the coolest skill animation of all time. It is also the best for clearing an entire screen full of shit. It is so fun to use if you go to Worldstone Keep level 3 and there's all those little Act 3 fetish Goombas. You can kill thousands of them at the same time. That makes it fun. And it's also the best single target DPS in the game with Charge Strike. Because of your passive and magic skill, you are an incredibly tanky as well. You have 4 health per point in vitality, which is more like 6 because of BO. So you do have a shit ton of health. Then with just 1 point in dodge and evade and avoid, you have above a 50% chance to just not take damage most of the time. You naturally have pretty high dex because of your gear. Gives you decent chance to block. If you throw on a J mod, it goes up even further, but we'll get into gear in a little bit. That is why to play Javazon. Cons, I know most people say Javazon's pretty budget. With the build that we're going for here, it is not budget. You are gonna need a Griffs, you're gonna need Enigma, you're gonna need Infinity. Besides that, it's not too bad to get the rest of the gear. You have garbage teleport frames, really garbage, like the worst in the game, even worse than Assassin, which makes using Enigma and teleporting sort of a juggle between trading off gear that would give you damage and skills for mobility. And that's what we're going to go through here. And again, you have really low mana, and Javazon takes a lot of mana. I think it is, 31 just to throw 1 spear. We'll get into that later. I hate graphs. I'm gonna basically be here for 10 seconds, but same graph that I used for my Mosaic Sin, just tweaked. The point of this graph is just to illustrate that there is a certain amount of redundancy. Past a certain point, adding more skill points and more damage does nothing, because all you care about is being able to one-shot stuff on screen and then move to the next pack as fast as possible. For somebody who is pushing levels on ladder or likes to play the game without just AFKing in bail, you need mobility, because you need to be able to clear chaos in an 8-player game and kill Neelithak in an 8-player game before the pubs get to wave 4 and 5 of bail. That is the quickest way to get from level 93 to level 96. You will hit 95 to 96 like somebody who's hitting 88 to 89 if you're doing it this way. You get insane amounts of EXP, but you need to be able to move. So this line here is what you need to one-shot a pack in player 8, and you can pretty much do it with the 68 FCR or the 99, but to be honest, I like the 99 better. If you're using a Phoenix or a J mod on your main hand swap with your Javelin, you should be able to hit 99 or 68. If you're using Spirit, you'll definitely hit 99. If you are using Phoenix or J mod on your main hand, you're going to need to use your CTA side to teleport, because you do want to hit that 99 breakpoint. And then when you get to a pack, you just immediately swap, throw a jab at them, start teleporting again. But again, this is basically just to show that damage past a certain point doesn't matter. You're going to nearly one-shot bosses even in a player 8 game. So moving right along, because you've all seen that before. I'm going to quickly go through my gear, and then I'll pop this back open and go into my T-Strokes versus Titans breakdown. We're not going to talk about 640s or 540s in this video, as I do believe T-Strokes to be not only the best budget, but also probably the best PVM Javelin in the game. My overall gear here, my stat allocations are really simple. I wear just enough strength to be able to to equip a Monarch, which is 156. I have 157 right now because I overcapped in case I needed to switch this charm out. Just enough dex, which is 151 to wear Thunderstroke. Again, I overcapped by 2 because I have a 2 dex charm on. Besides that, everything else into Vitality. Nothing into Energy. Energy's a joke. You don't need it. You're wearing Thunderstrokes on your main hand. You're wearing a Griffin's Eye on your head. You are not putting a Facet in this. You are putting a 15 IES Jewel in it. If you're rich like myself, you can put 15 IES and high all res. You could get a 15-15. I put a 15-13 because I'm kind of lazy. It's not even a perfect Griffs. You are wearing a Amazon faster cast rate amulet. You're not wearing High Lords. You don't need High Lords with this setup. I'll explain why in a little bit. This allows you to hit, let's take my Spirit off. With this gear, I hit the 68 breakpoint, faster cast rate breakpoint. I have 74% actually. But the 19 faster cast rate, 2 skills. I like having a lot of mana because, again, you are really mana dependent. You are going for 2 breakpoints here. You're going for 68 FCR with your Javelin, and you're going for 99 FCR with your CTA side out. The other breakpoint you're looking at is a 50% increased attack speed breakpoint for your Charge Strike. I will get into that in a second as well. That is a very fast attacking Charge Strike. The other breakpoint I believe is 90. You don't need to hit that. It's nearly impossible except in PvP or without 540s or 640s. It actually is impossible without 540s or 640s. Then you're wearing Enigma, as you could imagine, because you need to teleport. Why do you need to teleport? You need Wahid to not wander in the wrong direction. You need him to put that aura, that conviction aura, on everything as fast as possible. You're basically playing this like a hammered in your face, tanking a lot. You're teleporting right into a pack, throwing 1 javelin and watching everything die. Your next piece of gear is going to be 220 javelin gloves. You can take 320 javelin gloves. I don't. I am trading off that 1 skill literally for that 22 fire res, and I'll explain why in a little bit. The next piece of gear is you have 1 FCR ring. This one I got the 3rd day of last ladder. As you can imagine, it was over $100. It was probably the best ring on ladder at the time. Chan gave it to me. It was his marriage ring, his proposal to me. But you need 1 FCR ring to hit the breakpoints necessary. You're wearing a Rax for obvious reasons. Never put T-Strokes on Javazon ever. Or not T-Strokes, Thunder Gods. It only affects Lightning Fury. You don't really need that much. I put points in that last on my Java. Then I'm going Raven Frost. It gives high dex, which allows you to equip Thunderstroke, gives you a little bit more block. You don't need the attack rating at all. The mana is nice, 40 mana is always good. And the big thing here is cannot be frozen. Normally you'd throw a Cham in your Griffins. You're not doing that because you need that 15 increased attack speed jewel, and you can't get a ring that gives 15% attack speed. So it's literally like one of those things, just like the Assassin, where the only way to hit 102 faster cast rate on Assassin is this cookie cutter build. This is the exact same. You need 1 FCR ring, you need Raven Frost, you need IES in your helm, you need 20 on IES on your gloves. My boots are tri-res. They're not the greatest tri-res, but they don't even need to be tri-res. I think you could get away with Silk Weaves if you really have mana problems. You could also get away with anything that just has high lightning and high fire res. That's where you're gonna suffer the most in hell. I'll explain that in a second. Then for shield, you have a couple options. A lot of people, for the sake of just not having to press any of your potion buttons, like to run Phoenix. To be honest, hitting 99, I ran Phoenix. It gives you a lot of survivability from the redemption aura and massive chunks of health coming in. And it gives life, it gives max lightning res, it gives max fire res. The max lightning res is a joke though, because you're never gonna hit that. You will never hit the maximum lightning and fire res with this setup whatsoever. But for the sake of this demonstration and the number crunching that I did, I'm just gonna wear a Spirit because it's budget, it's good. With Spirit, I have 538 mana. That means that when I go and BO myself, I'm at almost 900 mana. I could teleport around at 99 FCR breakpoint all day like this, and I barely have to press like maybe 1 or 2 pots the entire run. Normally, if you put Phoenix on, you're gonna lose a shit ton of mana, and but you gain that back in never having to pot. You get 2 skills as well, and then you get resist, and lightning resist is a doozy. But I'm going to explain something here, and it is what it is. What I do to hit 99 is I kill Chaos and I kill Neelithak while they're doing the first 3 waves of Bale. Wave 4 and 5 of Bale don't do lightning damage. Neelithak doesn't do lightning damage. Chaos doesn't really do lightning damage. Diablo's breath, but you're going to see what happens to Diablo. He won't even get a breath off. So that said, I'm not looking to make max lightning resist. In fact, if I wore Phoenix, I'd have -7 lightning resist, but I'm not getting hit by lightning. If I go T-zone, I'm going to put my Spirit on because there's going to be shit that has lightning, especially if you're doing Great Marsh or Plains of Despair, something that has souls, anything like that, you need lightning. But if you're just doing Chaos, you're just popping Neelithak, you're going to the last waves of Bale, which is what you should be doing if you're pushing levels, you don't need lightning, you need fire. So my fire's where I put all the additional stuff. The problem with this build is you don't have places to make, you have 0 wiggle room really to make up fire resist. If I take my gloves, or I take my ring and my gloves off, and Spirit as well, Spirit doesn't give fire res, I have pretty garbage fire res. I mean, I guess my boots are off here too, but you have to be making up that fire res somewhere, and I do it via the ring and I do it via the gloves, and that's why I'm not wearing 320s. They would give me more damage, but I would be squishy as hell. You need to patch fire res. This ring is awesome because it gives high lightning and fire. I'm wearing a Sunday just because I like it, and I lean into elemental damage heavily with this build, and I will explain all that in a bit. You're wearing your javelin and spear skills. I don't cube because I'm a lazy fuck. All res small charms, but that's pretty cookie cutter. So no surprises really here. CTA on swap. Just like with the Mosaic Sin where I was hating on everybody for running 68 FCR breakpoint or lower, or being like, oh, I need more damage, I need more. You don't need damage, you need mobility, you need teleport speed. I'm gonna go and lambast Titan's Revenge right now at length. So T-strokes, the major things, it gives you 4 skills, 15 attack speed, and -15 to enemy lightning resist. All 3 of those mods are damage. Since we're wearing so much stuff that's FCR oriented and not necessarily pure damage, because Thunder Gods would be more damage, wearing an SOJ would be more damage, Mara's would be nice, putting a facet in here would be more damage. Since we're taking all of that away to get the mobility that we need, these javelins adding all these aspects to damage are crucial. All 3 of these mods go to damage your attack speed, your enemy lightning resist, and your skills. Titans gives you 1 of those. It gives you 4 to your javelin skills, essentially. That's all. That's it. The faster run speed doesn't matter. We're teleporting and we have Enigma for town, right? 25 to 50 damage doesn't matter because physical damage doesn't matter. 9% life stolen per hit, that's nice. That's defensive though, that's not offensive. 20 to strength, 20 to dex. That essentially can help you equip stuff like your spirit and other things. So you could make the argument that those combined cumulatively add up to 40 vitality, which is 160 health points. After BO, it's about 220. So you're like, okay, well, you actually get 220 more life because of the points you save for Titans. That's defense, that's not offense. What I just said is we're moving everything to mobility. That means we need as much offensive as we can still get. That's T-strokes, not Titans. Now we're gonna do the part that's gonna make everybody pissed off if you hate math. Thunderstrokes are for PVM Jabba. F-Titans are for PvP Boazon. The 15 IAS allows you to hit breakpoints that you need, right? You have 15 IAS on your T-strokes, you have 15 IAS from your Jewel and your Griffins, and you have 20 on your gloves. That equals 50 IAS. So that allows you to hit the charge strike 8-frame breakpoint. The second thing is the light resist. That 15% enemy light resist, I'm just gonna say, I believe 99% of the people in this world are really stupid. That includes a lot of people that think that this 15% enemy light resist is 15% damage. It's not 15% damage, it's way more. It is so much more damage. then 15%, and I'll go through that below. And then Eth Titans doesn't have IAS, so you can't hit the 50 breakpoint because you'd have to put on Andariels, which, are you kidding me? You'd lose all this lightning damage and this faster cast rate for just some IAS. Yeah, you just basically can't hit that breakpoint. The second thing is, again, it's got a bunch of mods that look helpful, like strength and dex, but this is all going to the physical portion of your damage. Charge Strike, 281 to 1100 damage is the physical portion. The elemental portion is 1 to 10k, but that's not true because you're actually releasing 11 charge bolts, which each do 1 to 10k. So the elemental portion is actually 1 to 110,000. Okay? That means that the physical portion of that damage is like 1%. And you're like, oh, but what about resist? Here is why physical damage pales in comparison to elemental damage. This holds true for the Mosaic Sin as well. Remember how I was just lambasting everybody for putting points into Tiger Strike and other stuff, and they're like, oh, my chart says I do more damage. That's just single target physical, right? If I'm looking at this right here, Lightning Fury is doing about the same physical, but it's doing 1 to 3,500, but that's splits into 44 bolts, so that matters way more than the actual single target, because this physical portion only hits the actual thing that you throw, not the split. Same with Charge Strike. So for the sake of this, I'm just gonna pretend we're hitting a lightning immune boss. Your Light Sunder breaks its immunity to 95. Then your Griffs breaks it another 20%, so that's down to 75% resist. So right, your physical damage is 281 plus to 1109 divided by 2. That gives you your average physical damage is 695, guys. 695 is where your physical damage is at. But your elemental damage, again, is 1 plus 110,000 divided by 2, which is 55,000 average elemental damage with your Charge Strike. But what I'm not factoring in is the enemy's resist. So for elemental damage, you first take what you have, which is 100%, because we're talking about a light immune monster, which is actually quite a lot of monsters in the game. You've broken that down to 95. Then you've broken that further down to 75 because of the 20% on Griffs. That means that of this 55,000 damage, only 25% is going through. That means that your real damage is actually only 13,750. You're like, oh, well, elemental damage sucks because you got like this major range. You can do like 1 damage, or you can only do whatever. Here's where it gets interesting. This is all with Titans, because with T-Strokes, you put on an extra 15 enemy lightning resist, and I'll show you the difference there. But the reason I don't give a about physical damage is if we take what this actual 695 physical damage is out, that actually only makes up 4.8% of your damage. Like, getting Eth Titans is literally only buffing yourself. Like, even if it doubles, it doesn't matter because it's nothing. It's 10% of your damage. Eth Titans, garbage. The same scenario with T-Strokes and the minus 15 lightning resist real quick, and it's very, very similar. We're doing a Sunder, which breaks them from 100 to 95. Then we're taking our Griffs, which breaks them from 95 to 75. But now we're taking them down an extra 15% from 75 to 60. And we're going to see what that does to the numbers. So 55,000, which again was our average Charge Strike damage, with a different resist factor of 40% of your damage going through, right? So they're blocking 60% instead of blocking 75%. Now your Charge Strike, instead of hitting for 13,750, is hitting for 22,000. You add that to the already existing number of 695 physical, you have 22,695. That is probably about, I mean, I can do this on screen real quick. You do almost 40% more with the T-Strokes. Now your physical portion of your damage is only 3%. So it matters not at all. And then you say, you're like, what the hell? Like, that's nearly the double the damage from the 15% light res. But this is what everybody is doing wrong. They're thinking that 15% light res is like, okay, 15% more damage. No, it's nearly doubling it, because if you have Griffins and a Sunder on, you're breaking them a total of, what, 25% of their resist? You're going through 25% of their resist. With just 15% more, you're going through 40. So your damage that actually hits is nearly double just because of that 15%. And that's not even factoring what infinity is. Now, the next reason T-strokes is better, I'm sorry, I'm still talking, is that 50% IAS breakpoint allows you to hit an 8 frame. So with Titans, you're only hitting a 9 frame attack. In Diablo 2, a second is 25 frames. That means with a 9 frame attack, you are attacking 2.7 times per second. So if you add that, you take the 14,000 damage, because again, that's what we got when we did our total Titans damage, right? That's per hit. You're doing 14,000 per hit, but you're doing in 1 second, multiplying that by 2.7 attacks, you're doing about 40k damage per second. Now we look at T-strokes. You're hitting an 8 frame attack, which is 3.12 attacks per second. That means your true damage attacking a boss with T-strokes is 22,000. Again, from the same number we did earlier. Looking at 70,000 damage per second. That is night and day. This is nearly double the damage of Titans. Double the damage. So I ask you real quick, do you really think that the move speed and the 260 extra life and the lifesteal is worth it? Or do you think doing nearly double the damage is better? I'm gonna say doing nearly double the damage. Like every day that wins, 100%. That's just silly, like anybody who disagrees. And the last thing, you can make the argument that 540s or 640s are better than either. I'm not covering those. They're ridiculously expensive at the start of ladder. They're like 20 plus burr. They're hundreds of dollars, US dollars, if you buy them in real money. They're unnecessary because you already one-shot everything with T-strokes in player 8. The 40% IAS frees up all these other options, like putting a light facet in the helm instead of that jewel. It gives you 2 more skills if you're wearing 640s on the jabs. That would make my math a whole lot more complex, because you're not just talking about using different javelins, you're talking about those javelins enabling you to change other aspects of your gear. It gets really complex. They're mostly used for PvP, guys. They're not used for PvM. That said, we're gonna quickly just go through, and I will do, this is a player 8 game. I'm gonna go ahead and do my chaos run as fast as possible. You're gonna notice I'm TPing with my jab side out. Normally I do this with, I do it with Phoenix, and I TP with my CTA side out, just because. But the nice thing is, rather than like charging up like Mosaic Sin does, you just like teleport around, and then you like switch and throw a jab. And then you teleport, and you switch back, you teleport around. And this is what I'm doing when I'm hitting 99. I don't want to just sit in a bail game like AFK. I want to one-shot everything. Sea Lord to CC got one shot. That is literally the goal. And honestly, as you play Jabba more and more, you're going to realize that you're charge striking way more than you're actually like Thunder Furying. You're Thunder Furying to clear like groups of mods. But actually that Thunder Fury just killed all of those. I forgot to go through my skills. I'll do that right now, right after I kill Diablo. But you'll see here, this is a player 8 game. I bet I 2-shot him. 1, 2, oh, no. That was more like 3 or 4. Whoops. Okay, well, you actually dropped some Marowaks. Anyway, when I'm building this character, I am putting points in Charge Strike and its synergies first. I usually leave 1 point for Lightning Fury. I have 20 in it right now. That is because I am level 99. My priority is leveling Power Strike, Lightning Bolt, Charge Strike, and Lightning Strike. You're going to have 1 point in Lightning Fury while you're doing that. You're going to have 1 point in all of these passives. I don't put points in Valk. Dodge, avoid, evade. If you're playing hardcore, you do want Valk. You do want decoy. I never died on this character post 95. I don't recommend having it. It's just, you can if you want. But actually the way it works out with skills right now, I have 20 in all of these because I'm level 99. Otherwise, yeah, if I put points in these, I'd lose 4 to Lightning Fury. But Lightning Fury is what you're willing to sacrifice. Charge Strike, you're not. Charge Strike is an awesome skill. You're using this most of the time. Now looking at a T-zone real quick, it's Bar Oasis. This is why you need mobility for when it T-zones like this, where you're like, where is anything of value to kill? Oh, Ooze Flame, I'm gonna one-tap you. Then I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna go like this. And you're like, well, Heidi, look at your health. It's falling down pretty quick. You're right. I don't actually want to use Spirit here, even though there is lightning. I'm gonna be ballsy. I'm gonna take my Spirit off. I'm gonna put my Phoenix on. just because I want to be lazy. I never want to deal with mana issues. Now you'll look and you'll see I have -7 lightning resist, and these bad boys are pumping out little lightning bolts. Do I care? No, I just dodged every single lightning bolt. So no, I don't care. Doesn't matter. Still, now, since I've taken Spirit off, I'm only at 68 on my main Java side, so I would be TPing around using my CTA like this. See a group, pop it, switch. I'm rusty, I haven't played Java in a while. And see a group. The other thing, you're like, oh, I need more mana. I see a group, I kill it, I sit there. But yeah, this is essentially the Javazon build. The main things are people love Titans, and they love upgrading Titans, and they love buying Titans with perfect 200 ED. Guys, that only matters for literally like your main hand hit. That's so, like, the damage is so negligible when you compare it to like the 50,000 damage elemental that Charge Strike is doing. It just doesn't even make sense to do that at all. But as you can see, I essentially one-shot pretty much anything. These guys are hard lightning immune. But yeah, it's a fun build. I do rate it as my favorite build to play, simply because unlike Mosaic Sin, you don't have to build up charges. You can actually just go everything up immediately. Grief Grin the Mad, one shot. But yeah, you'll notice I mostly just walk around charge striking because it's more fun. Anyway, though, thank you for watching. If you have any arguments or debates, please take them up with Pickle Rick OG. He is our complaint department, guys, and he will respond to you never. So thank you for listening, and I'm going to hop back to my regular stream now.